Good afternoon. So how are you all? Hmm. How can we form? क्या चल रहा है? हाँ, पंखे क्यों चल रहे हैं इतना तेज? एसी ज्यादा हो जाते हैं। गुड आफ्टरनून। पंखे आवाज करते हैं, बहुत दुख है। यार ये वाला एटलीस्ट बंद कर दो। हाँ, पंखे आर टू मिडिल क्लास। ऐसा वो देखा कौन सा सीरियल है वो, सारा भाई वर्सेस सारा भाई? नहीं देखते? तुम लोगों ने कुछ देखा ही नहीं है। ओके, so raise your hand. What are the 6 steps of making a vyapti? Raise your hands. How can we check that vyapti is correct or not? Method of establishing a vyapti. Be confident. Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Where are the rest? And where? व्यतिरेकी, व्यभिचार ग्रह, उपाधि निरस, तर्क, सामान्य तो दृष्ट, सामान्य लक्षण, अलौकिक, प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण। ठीक है, इट्स ओके, इतने में भी हम खुश हो गए। Okay, what are the various kinds of vyapti? First, tell me on the basis of causation, चलो, या फिर timing, whatever you want to say. पूर्वत अनुमान, शेषवत अनुमान, सामान्य तो दृष्ट. What is सामान्य तो दृष्ट? Example. Very good. Perfect. What is केवल अन्वयी? टेक्निकल टर्म्स में बताओ अब, टेक्निकल टर्म्स। अग्रीमेंट इन प्रेजेंस, अग्रीमेंट इन प्रेजेंस। ओके, एग्जाम्पल क्या था? परफेक्ट। केवल व्यतिरेकी, अग्रीमेंट इन एब्सेंट। एग्जाम्पल, इट्स सो इजी। कौन बताएगा? रेज योर हैंड। मतलब भीड़ में तो तुम लोगों ने बता दिया, लेकिन यू नो इंडिपेंडेंटली कौन बताएगा? What that does not have, that is not different from others. That has no smell. Perfect. इतना तो आसान है। और उसके बाद अन्वय व्यतिरेकी। ओके, एग्जाम्पल। Perfect. Very good. Very good. Okay, what are the characteristics of valid hetu? 5 characteristics of valid hetu. Raise your hands. अरे ऐसे आपस में पहले रिवाइज करके बताते हो क्या? कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है? अरे यार, वही 4-5 हाथ। बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? देखो एक बार बताओ, You all want to get selected ना? या ये 5-6 लोगों को ही select होना है बस? सबको होना है ना? This means when I ask question and we have devoted so much time on Nyaya, have we rushed? No. We don't rush because agenda is not to complete syllabus. Agenda is to first get it ingrained. If I am devoting so much time, then when I ask a question, I want everyone to raise their hands. Fine? Okay. अब हम एक-एक करके करेंगे, है ना? Starting from here, you will give one. ठीक है? What is the? There are 5 characteristics of valid hetu. What is the first one? Paksh dharmata. You explain it. But what is paksh dharmata? Perfect. What is it? This is it. Second. देखो 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 सा पक्ष सत. पक्ष सा मतलब उसके साथ और सत्व मतलब उसमें ट्रू. ठीक है? सा पक्ष सत. ओके, यू एक्सप्लेन इट. where hetu is present. Perfect. Example. The fire must be present in all cases where smoke is present. Okay, third. Okay, explain it. Hetu. Okay, fine. Fourth. Okay. Explanation. Example. अबादत का example. Must not get proved by. Hetu must not. So fire must not prove the coolness of ice. या फिर coolness of something, because fire is in itself not cool. It will be contradictory in nature. ठीक है? Next. Counted by? नहीं होना चाहिए. किसके contradictory नहीं होना चाहिए? हाँ? On the same thing. Perfect. Example. The video. Example. नहीं, example of अविरुद्ध. Sound. अरे पढ़ लो यार, नोट्स तो सामने ही है. इसने रट्टा मारा लेकिन इनकम्प्लीट. ओके ओके, और कुछ रह गया रिवाइज करने के लिए? इतना ही था. इतने में तुम लोग क्या था ये? You people are sheer, wasting time. इतनी सी चीज के लिए तुम लोगों ने एक क्लास खराब कर दी. हाँ? था क्या? Is it there anything difficult? उस दिन लग रहा था? Okay, fine. So this is philosophy. In philosophy, you just have to, all the efforts that goes in is only in understanding it once. Once you have understood, then it is only about reading, learning and revising. खत्म. It's not. अब एक बार समझ में आ गया 5 characteristics of valid hetu. If you learn it, it's never going to change. Will it ever change? Howsoever you have to, howsoever years it may take, but will it ever change? No, it will remain the same. So that's the advantage of philosophy as an optional. So if you want to take advantage, you will also have to keep revising. Okay, fine. So today we have fallacies of inference or हेत्वाभास. अभी तक हम लोगों ने क्या क्या कर लिया? थोड़ा सा स्ट्रक्चर कर लेते हैं. So we read Nyaya. In Nyaya, we started with what? Okay, similarities and differences with Vaisheshika. Okay, fine. What else? Knowledge. What are the two kinds of knowledge? Nitya, Anitya. And then Nitya knowledge is of Prama, Aprama. Okay. Aprama we did 4. In Prama we did 4. In this fourth, in this Prama, we started with perception. How many types of perception? Stages of perception. Okay. Okay. Alaukic, how many types? Samanya. Simple. Okay. After perception, let's open this. Inference. क्या है? ओह, तुम लोग तो याद कर लियो. ठीक है. Types. One is पूर्वशेश्वर, सामान्य तो दृष्ट. ठीक है. First classification. Second, स्वार्थ अनुमान, परार्थ अनुमान. Here you will do comparison with. Third is केवल अन्वय. Fine. Okay. Within inference, ये inference हो गया. Inference किस चीज पे dependent है? तो let's evaluate व्याप्ति. हाँ. What is व्याप्ति we did? Then types of व्याप्ति we did. Then okay, establishing vyapti or method of vyapti we did. What else? Now vyapti is based on hetu, and now hetu we have done 5 characteristics of valid hetu. But now we will be talking about what if this hetu is not valid. What will happen if hetu is not valid? अगर हेतु गलत है, if hetu is not valid, if there is some problem with hetu, what will happen? We will not be able to form correct vyapti. And if there is no correct vyapti, what will happen? We will lead to wrong inferences. Therefore, if we want our inference as a praman to be valid knowledge, to be considered as a strong source of knowledge, we must be sure that the hetu is valid and it is not having any problems or any deficiencies. So we must know what is hetvabhas. हेत्वाभास means हेतु जैसा लग रहा है लेकिन है नहीं. It is appearing to be the correct valid hetu, but it is not. This means there is something wrong with hetu. So what are the various conditions in which something can be wrong? No, hetu. What is hetu? In fire example, smoke is the hetu. है ना? We will keep our understanding for hetu always with one example. Hetu means smoke, sadhe means fire, paksh means hill. ठीक है? Of course, the examples here will change, but for your understanding, you always keep one example as a base, and rest all you can change. Okay. So the first condition in come to these notes. Fine. अनित्य मतलब, अच्छा ये नित्य इज गॉड, ये अनित्य है। अनित्य इज गॉड। अरे नित्य मतलब परमानेंट यार। परमानेंट किसकी होगी? ह्यूमन की नित्य हो सकती है क्या? कॉमन सेंस। ठीक है, नाउ कम बैक here. The fallacies of inference. The first fallacy is acid. Acid means unproved reason. Here, इसको चेयर को रखना। Here, middle मतलब हेतु, है ना? The middle term. Here हेतु is not established. हेतु के अंदर प्रॉब्लम है। First आश्रय सिद्ध। आश्रय मतलब क्या होता है? What is आश्रय? place where we stay, place, है ना? This means जहां पर हेतु है, where the hetu is placed, that is not correct. This means paksh is not there. Paksh is illusory or paksh is unproved itself. Example, if I say there is smoke on golden fire, therefore it is fiery. What is problem in this statement? Smoke fire तो ठीक है, but where is golden mountain? Can smoke be on the golden mountain? Problem. This means that hetu, when we are saying it should be in the paksh should be real and proper. पढ़ लो। Read the first one. Aag. The thing that has fire means fiery. Clear? So sky lotus is fragrant. Why is it wrong? कुछ sky lotus होता ही नहीं. There is nothing called as sky lotus. Understood? Ashray, acid. So we have started with acid. In acid, there is this first subcategory, Ashray, acid. Second is Swarup acid. Swarup means nature. Acid means not proved. This means both the nature of Hetu and Sadhe or Hetu and Paksh are contradictory. The nature of Hetu and Paksh are contradictory. Example, sound is a quality because it is visible. What is the problem here? Sound or visible? Can sound be visible? Match nahi kar rahi. What is not matching? Quality. Or the nature of both of them are not matching. Read it. अब बताओ, sound is a quality because it is visible. यहाँ पे हम किस चीज को देख के किस चीज को प्रूव कर रहे हैं? एक बार समझते हो, हर एग्जाम्पल समझ में आ जाएगा। इसको किसी भी एग्जाम्पल को आप पकड़ लो, हर एग्जाम्पल में वी हैव टू सी बाय लुकिंग एट व्हाट वी आर रीचिंग वेयर, बाय लुकिंग एट व्हाट sound is a quality. This is a proof state. We are proving this sound is a quality because so this visibility becomes what? हेतु। भाई visibility से तो हम sound को as a quality prove कर रहे हैं ना, तो sound क्या हो गई? पक्ष। और quality क्या हो गई? साउंड इज अ क्वालिटी, ये प्रूव कर रहे हैं ना हम। साउंड को क्या प्रूव कर रहे हैं? तो क्वालिटी शुड बी साध्य, क्या देख के? बिकॉज इट इज, so visibility should be the hetu and sound should be the hill is fiery because it is having smoke. Smoke is what? Hetu. Hill is what? Paksh. Fiery is what? समझ में आया? हेत्वाभास is a Hindi term. It means hetu plus abhas. Abhas means illusory. So it appears, it is an illusory hetu. So the term is in Hindi and it means that invalid hetu. The various fallacies which can appear in improper hetu. So if the hetu is not proper, the inference will not be proper. The fallacy that will occur, that will happen because of invalid hetu. Clear? You are a new student? First day? How will you understand beta in middle? You watched it? I will. So you have some philosophy background? Okay. And the BA philosophy. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Actually, the BA syllabus is very different. Or rather, the philosophy graduation syllabus is quite different in orientation. Here it is a little different. Don't worry. So you for understanding this, first you will have to see the fine. From tomorrow, maybe we will be starting with Vaisheshika. Then there might be, some 60 to 70% you will be able to understand. Then also you will not be able to understand completely because all these concepts are carry forward. So philosophy is an evolution. So like when we do the first philosopher, students feel like pata nahi kya chal raha hai ye. Lot of Hindi terms, lot of difficult terms, but as we graduate, these terms coming up again and again, and then they become usual terminology. So generally, if somebody talks about, आपके पास क्या प्रमाण है ना, तो लोगों को लगेगा पता नहीं क्या बात हो रही है, but philosophically it is a usual terminology. So you gain that terminology along the way. You will be able to understand. Okay, I will see. So you will have to repeat class. You study, you understand whatever you can, but you are an offline student. So whenever there will be the next batch, you have time, you join that class also. Fine?
But also I'm not taking GS right now, so I do have a lot of time to cover up.
Do that also. If you have any problem, then take that also. Okay. Fine. Ma'am, it's like adjective thing with sound. क्या बोल रहे हैं बच्चे? तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो बेटा? मुझसे ज्यादा बिजी ये दोनों हैं. नीचे करके दिखाओ. दो बैठे हो फिर भी. नीचे नीचे एकदम एंड में. Is inference and हेत्वाभास same? Rohit, inference is the valid knowledge. Hetvabhas is the conditions where the knowledge will be wrong. It will lead to invalid inferences. है ना? Fallacies of inference are known as hetvabhas. Clear? Okay. So Ashray, is it done? Swaroop Asid. Done? Pakka? Read it again if you have any problem with the and in your notes, put it. What is Hetu, what is Sadhya, and what is Paksh? Because right now also, if you understand, just before mains, again this sentence will cause problem. So write it in your notes. Sound is a quality. Sound के अंदर क्या प्रूव कर रहे हैं हम? Clear? Let us move next. Third is Vyaptav. Third is Vyaptav Asid. It is again, so the example of fire as Hetu and smoke as Sadhya. Remember? Fire as Hetu and smoke as Sadhya. What was wrong with that example? What was wrong with that condition? Therefore, Hetu should not be conditionally associated with Sadhya. Should not be conditional. Wahi hai. Padho. Here Vyapti is conditional because therefore Hetu becomes fallacious. Wherever there is fire, there is smoke. क्या problem है यहाँ पे? Hetu is conditionally associated with Sadhya. चाहो तो लिख लो. लिखा भी हुआ है क्या? हाँ, fire is associated with the quality of wet fuel ना, यहाँ पे लिख लो. Hetu is conditionally associated with Sadhya. इसके और भी लिखवा दो एग्जाम्पल्स, है ना? अभी पहले पढ़ लेते हैं, फिर मैं और लिखवा देती हूँ, है ना? दत्ता एंड चैटर्जी के अंदर कुछ एडिशनल एग्जाम्पल्स भी हैं, है ना? वी विल राइट दोज एग्जाम्पल्स ऑल्सो इन योर नोट्स हियर so that you can pick and choose. But in your answers, do you have to write more than one? ना time है ना? Space. Okay, perfect. कौन बताएगा? बताओ. The three acid. बिना देखे. क्यों? आश्रय acid? Yes. हाँ. Okay, Ashray acid, you explain. Yeah, you people are so ratification types. Why are you reading? Ashray acid. But use your gray matter, white matter. कहाँ ले जाओगे उसे? यहीं पे याद कर लो ना, समझ लो. रटने की चीज नहीं है. This is not that you have to ratify. You just have to understand the terminology and apply it. Simple. Ashray acid. Ashray means locus. और पक्ष? पक्ष acid. This means पक्ष is not valid. Example. अच्छा तुम्हारे हाँ स्काई लोटस देखो उसने भी बता दिया फर्स्ट क्लास. ठीक है स्काई लोटस. सेकंड स्वरूप असित. एक्सप्लेन. They do not match in nature. Okay. सीधी एक लाइन में. One. Sound is a quality because it is visible. Yes. We can give that, but देखो, we should try to use those examples which have been given in either Datta and Chatterjee or in some other. देखो, if you want to read, you read, and if you find some authentic book from where you can get some example, it's okay, है ना? Take it. हाँ, तो वो आश्रम में तो बोल नहीं, आश्रम में भी जाएगा, और आश्रम में क्यों जाएगा? वो तो ओशन तो रियल है ना. अगर वो बोलता स्काई ओशियन तो वो आश्रम में जाएगा. अगर वो बोल रहे सिंपल ओशियन ऑन फायर, नेचर. ठीक है. थर्ड, व्याप्त वसित. एक्सप्लेन.
Wherever there is fire, there is example in this condition.
Okay, fine. Come to next. Savya Bichari. Savya Bichari. Now, the हेतु, इसके बारे में लिख लो थोड़ा सा. तुम लोगों है ना, स्टार्टिंग मुझे लग रहा है कि you people are right. Savya-Vichari, or the fallacy of irregular hetu. Here, the conclusion or inference is false because here the conclusion of inference is false because the hetu violates the general rule, that it must be universally related to साध्य. Universally related to साध्य. एक और एग्जाम्पल लिख लो यहाँ पे. सव्यभिचारी के अंदर एक और एग्जाम्पल लिख लो. all knowable objects are theory. All knowable objects are theory. Second statement, the hill is knowable. Third statement, therefore the hill is theory. अब इस एग्जाम्पल में देख के मुझे बताओ क्या प्रॉब्लम है. व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम? अच्छा, इसमें इस वाले के अंदर व्हाट इज पक्ष? हिल. व्हाट इज साध्य? फायर. व्हाट इज हेतु? all knowable objects. So what is the problem with hetu? Hetu is too wide. Even non-theory things are knowable. So when we were doing this Anvay and Vyatireki, in Anvay, hetu should be related to sadhya in positive instances, and in Vyatireki it should be absent when the sadhya is also absent. इसका कोई मतलब होगा ना, उन्होंने दिया है तो. Now put it in this example. Is नहीं fit हो रहा? क्यों fit नहीं हो रहा? क्योंकि हेतु बहुत wide है. Hetu is so wide that it is including in itself both fiery and non-fiery things. This is the problem. If we make such inference, it will be wrong. समझ में आया? Sabhabhichari. In it, they have given 3 types. First is sadharan. Sadharan means common. Too generic. So hetu is too generic. Like this example, knowable. See this? Hetu is too wide, as it is present in both sapaksh and vipaksh cases. Therefore, violating the condition that hetu should not be present in negative instances. जब हमारा साध्य यानी कि फायर नहीं है तो हेतु भी नहीं होना चाहिए. बट जब फायर नहीं है, क्या नोएबिलिटी है? रीड इट. 2 सेकेंड सोचो, पढ़ो और सोचो. Clear? Anybody having problem? Ask. If anybody is having any doubt, ask. So you will have to imagine and understand it. Right? This is something you yourself will have to apply your logic. Until and unless you use your logic, it will not be understandable. Pakka? People at the back. Explain. Explain. हाँ, explain. I don't like students जो ऐसे गर्दन हिला देते हैं और अगर उन्हें समझ नहीं आया होता तो. No. Explain. Hetu is too wide. Right. Cases. हाँ. Okay. Example. What is hetu here? And hetu is too wide? Both are in. Okay, ठीक है, fine. You? Why? Not revised? Revise नहीं किया? क्यों? अच्छा, okay. Meet me after class. Okay, fine. Second, asadharan. Asadharan means uncommon. Of course, Navya Rastogi. So there will be no paksh dharmta if there is ashraya siddh. Okay. Vikas and Rohit, which one do you want me to explain again? असाधारण में क्या होगा? हेतु will be too narrow and it will not even cover completely the sapaksh cases. It will not completely cover even the sapaksh cases. This means not all cases where hetu is present will sadhya be present. It is very narrow. हेतु बहुत ज्यादा छोटा है. ऐसे भी केसेस होंगे जहां पे हेतु नहीं है, वहां पे भी साध्य होगा. Example, sound is eternal because it is audible. In this, sound is eternal because it is audible. What is the hetu? What is sadhe and what is paksh? Sound is eternal. Okay? Because it is audible. Okay, tell me. Audible is what? Sound is what? Eternal is what? Sure? Pakka? Okay. So this means hetu is very narrow. Narrow means eternal के कंपैरिजन में ऑडिबिलिटी कितनी बड़ी है? क्या ऐसी भी चीजें होंगी जो ऑडिबल होंगी लेकिन इटर्नल नहीं होंगी? क्या ऐसी भी चीजें होंगी जो ऑडिबल नहीं होंगी लेकिन इटर्नल होंगी? दोनों ही तरफ से, ना सापक्ष ना विपक्ष, कुछ दोनों केसेस कवर नहीं हो रहे प्रॉपरली. ठीक है, रीड इट अगेन. It's not eternal. This is a wrong example because we are reading their fallacies. For again, this is a very controversial topic because for some schools sound will be eternal, for others it will not, है ना? So currently when we are reading these fallacies, here in this example it is not. So we will take it case by case basis. So these are wrong statements. They are putting it so that they can prove that what are the right statements. Fine? Sure? In all the examples that are given, if you can decode what is hetu, sadhe and paksh, all examples will be understandable. Problem सिर्फ तब होती है जब हमें decode नहीं होता हेतु, साध्य and paksh. Simple. So you tell me, sapaksh means? So wherever hetu is present, साध्य must be present. आना चाहिए. आता है क्या? पहले की नॉलेज के साथ नहीं. Whatever is audible, is it also eternal? It's not. और अगर लॉजिक नहीं लग रहा हो तो क्या करेंगे? याद कर. Because there is no other way. And these are the only wrong examples that they could create. Where is it written? Hetu is too narrow. It is present only in paksh. Audibility is present only in sound. It cannot prove eternity. लिख लिया? Ma'am, may you please explain the example of sadharan? Oh, sadharan. So Wi-Fi कट हो गया था बेटा. Okay. So in simple terms, sadharan is when the hetu is too wide and it covers both the instances where sadhya is present as well as not present. And asadharan is when hetu is too narrow and it is not even covering the sapaksh cases completely. This is the exam. This is it. Now you read it and it will be okay, but it will be okay after few days. When you will be reading it 2-3 times, then there will be a moment you will say, and after some time it will be digestible. Then last, Last under Savyabichari, that is Anup Samhari. Here Hetu is non-exclusive. Hetu is non-exclusive and Paksh is all-inclusive. Paksh means where we have to prove things. It is all-inclusive. And Hetu is non-exclusive. बहुत एकदम नर. वो भी मतलब वो भी wide और वो भी wide. Therefore, leaves nothing by the way of sapaksh or vipaksh. Example से समझ में आएगा. All things are non-eternal because they are knowable. What is hetu in this? Knowable. What is sadhe? Non-eternal. What is paksh? Now read it. Hetu is non-exclusive. Does hetu or knowability exclude anything? सब कुछ आ गया ना? Everything is knowable. And paksh is all inclusive. All things. Therefore, will there be any sapaksh or vipaksh cases? पक्ष भी हर जगह है, हेतु भी हर जगह है, तो प्रूव क्या करना है? नॉन तो साध्य का कुछ रह ही नहीं गया. देयर आर नो सापक्ष एंड विपक्ष केसेस. पढ़ लो एक बार. कह सकते हैं, but it's not exactly tautology. It is exactly they are talking about those conditions like so why are they giving all these things, right? Sometimes we talk in terms of सब आदमी बेकार है ना? All people are liars and thieves. So why, when we talk in such terms, the inferences that we will derive will be wrong. Why? Because of they will prove these things wrong on the basis of applying these hetvabhas. They will say सारे आदमी मतलब your paksh is all inclusive. This means यहीं पे wrong हो गया आपका statement. So they will not prove statement wrong on the basis of just opinion. They will prove the statement wrong on the basis of theoretical manner, that your paksh is wrong. The thing you are trying to prove, the hetu is too fallacious or the hetu is irregular. The hetu is unproved. वो इस technical grounds पे statements को तोड़ते थे. That is why it is known as the school of argumentation. When they used to argue, the Nyaya rishis used to argue, they used these techniques to break the arguments of others. We are just reading the technical boring part. Rather, it should have been normally, and if it would have to be made interesting, it should have been connected with the application part. In what cases can you use Anup Samhari? But that time, the statements used were very different from now. तब की statements और अब की statements में meaning नहीं हो पाएगा. लेकिन अगर if we want to capture the essence of Nyaya, we must understand that all these technicalities we are studying because they were applicable in breaking the statements of opposition. क्या? Anup Samhari? Okay. What is hetu here? Knowable is the hetu. अच्छा, मैं यहीं पे बताती हूँ. हाँ, tell me the example. All things are what is knowable? What is non-eternal? What is all things? So now tell me, Paksh means all things. All means all. Hetu is knowable. So Hetu is present everywhere. Hetu is present everywhere. So साध्य is present. हेतु से साध्य ही तो जानना चाह रहे हैं. If hetu is present everywhere, then sadhya is present. Something which is present everywhere, does it require any inference? So the inference itself. So paksh is. I'll tell you. Now ये कहना नहीं चाह रहे, ये बताना चाह रहे हैं which statements are wrong. How not to make a statement or how not to make an inference. Hetva bhas. We are reading the fallacies. What all can go wrong with hetu? We cannot do that because smoke and fire is having the. But you cannot use that now because that's the correct statement now. That is the correct example. All these examples are wrong. It is all these examples are telling us what can go wrong with hetu, leading to improper inference. So these are fallacies that we are reading. So first we read what all should be present in hetu, the 5 characteristics. And now we are saying if these characteristics are not present properly, what all can go wrong with inference. So if the hetu is not present in the paksh, so the paksh, if the paksh is not real, inference will go wrong. So हम wrong चीज पढ़ रहे हैं. We are taking the examples where hetu is not correct. Therefore, the inference, will it be correct? No. So all these statements are wrong. Because we are reading hetva bhas, which are fallacies. And why are we reading fallacies? To understand what all can go wrong with hetu. If we can identify where there is wrong hetu, we will catch it. That if the hetu is wrong, vyapti cannot be right. If the vyapti cannot be right, inference cannot be right. So this means all the other schools, Buddhism, Jainism, Vedanta, they will be making some inference in their statements. From this inference, they will break it. Acha, on what vyapti are they basing this inference? Then they're like, okay, on what hetu are they basing this vyapti? Now they will prove this hetu to be improper. They will first check whether the paksh is real. If not, then it is आश्रय सिद्ध. तुम्हारी स्टेटमेंट गलत है. वो जैन्स को बोलेंगे, वेदांतिन्स को बोलेंगे, तुम्हारी स्टेटमेंट गलत है. क्यों? Paksh is illusory. Paksh is not present. Cut. Second, they will say, अच्छा चलो पक्ष अगर सही है, then Swarup Asiddh. This means the nature of Paksh and Hetu are not matching. Incorrect. Your the opposition की statement कब incorrect हो जाएगी? जब पक्ष और हेतु की nature match. Third, even if the nature is matching, they will say Vyapta Vasid. Conditional. There is some condition associated with it. Cut. If all the things are okay, then they will check Savya Bichari. Then they will see, is Hetu too wide? If it is too wide, wrong. If it is too narrow, wrong. And if it is non-exclusive or all-inclusive, again wrong. Clear? So here they will break they are using these techniques or tools to break the inferences of others. And they will be able to break it only if they know what can go wrong, what to check for. So Hetvabhas we are studying just to see where all Hetu can go wrong. बताओ, knowable means किस किस को जान सकते हैं? जो आपकी नॉलेज में है उतना ही जानते हो आप, उससे ज्यादा जान सकते. Non-exclusive, it doesn't exclude anything. Non-exclusive means which doesn't exclude anything. In other words, which includes everything. बुक्स में ऐसी है ना. अब मैं इसके कोनोटेशन में नहीं जा रही, लेकिन थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस होता है नॉन एक्सक्लूसिव और ऑल इंक्लूसिव. बट अगर यहाँ प्रॉब्लम है तो वहां तो और प्रॉब्लम होगी. दैट इज मच मोर लॉजिकल, है ना. दैट विल इंक्लूड एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लॉजिक. व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ ऑल इंक्लूसिव एंड नॉन एक्सक्लूसिव, दिस इज एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लॉजिक, है ना. तो ऐसे मानो लॉजिक की भी स्टेजेस होती हैं. Currently, you people have started to learn logic at a very basic rate. This is the first time you are using logic. Maybe a little bit in CSAT you might be using. So when you solve these Venn diagrams, or what do you say, pie diagrams, जितने भी होते हैं ये सब, है ना. All monkeys are birds. Some birds are rats. Some rats are cats. और उसके अंदर से अब आपको ढूंढना है कि how many या फिर which statement is correct. All birds are cats, some birds are cats, some cats are lions. So what is this? This is just the use of logic. Similarly, when you use in CSAT, when you do logical reasoning questions, 10 people sitting in a circle, A is to the side of B, D is to the side of E, and this is sitting from the third. Here, it is again the use of logic. Logic means something you put together, you know little information, you don't have complete information. But by applying the agencies of your brain, you put things together to see the logic. ये इसके बगल में है तो ये इसके बगल में तो हो नहीं सकता. This thing, very important for CSAT. There are people who have very strong logic and they don't even need to study CSAT. Why? Strong logic. They will read the question. अगर 100 रुपए का सामान है, if 100 rupees is the selling point, selling price, and this much is the discount, this much is this, what will be the cost price? They will just put an example and solve it, and quickly it will be done. And people who are not logical, they will try to use formula. Formula takes a lot of time. So CSAT logic very important. Similarly, the same logic is very important in your philosophy में तो सीख ही रहे हैं. In your MCQs, people with strong logic, easy to solve MCQs, because in those statements there is always a logic thing. Even if you don't know no statement, तीनों statement नहीं पता आपको, still you can use logic to see the inconsistencies between those statements. And so logic is a very important component of success in life and exam together. But currently you people are at the base of logic. जब हम इस लॉजिक के अंदर और ऊपर जाएंगे तो फिर एक आता है एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लॉजिक. उस एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लॉजिक में ये वाले कॉन्सेप्ट्स, इन्फिनिटी, नॉन इंक्लूजन, नॉन एक्सक्लूजन, ये सब डिस्कस होते हैं. तो अभी ये वाला लॉजिक पूरा नहीं है तो वहां पे जाने का मतलब नहीं है ना. पहले इस लॉजिक को स्ट्रॉन्ग करेंगे. ठीक है, ओके. हाँ बताओ. फर्स्ट असिद, क्विकली बहुत आज खत्म करना नहीं है. क्विकली असिद फर्स्ट. आश्रय असिद सेकंड. इतने में भूल गए हो क्या? स्वरूप असिद, व्याप्तव असिद. सेकंड इज मतलब सेकंड मेन कैटेगरी इज सव्य विचारी, सव्य विचार साधारण, अनुसंहारी। क्या होता है अनुसंहारी? हाँ, क्या होता है? परफेक्ट, ठीक है, बस इतना ही बहुत है। फाइन। गलत प्रूव करना, एग्जैक्टली। कम। थर्ड बिग कैटेगरी, सत प्रतिपक्ष। सत प्रतिपक्ष इज वेरी इजी. This means one inference is being contradicted by another inference. It is the counterbalance or inferentially contradicted middle. This means the hetu is being contradicted by another inference. So two people are fighting. One person is saying this is the hetu is this, therefore sadhya is this, and coming out with an inference. Second person is also saying, but problem is दोनों गलत opposite inferences पे पहुंच रहे हैं. One person is saying sound is eternal, other person is saying sound is non-eternal. Both are leading to the very opposite inferences. Proof भी कर दे रहे हैं. Problem कहाँ पे है? There must be problem in one of the hetu, which is being contradicted by another inference. So when inference is counterbalanced or rejected by another inference, that is sat pratipaksh. Let's understand the example. Sound is eternal because it is audible. What is hetu here? Audible. What is sound? What is eternal? So from audibility, what is being proved? Eternity. From audibility, what is being proved? Eternity. Now let us see the second one. Sound is non-eternal. Internal nahi hai, ye eternal hai. Sound is non-eternal because it is produced. अब क्या प्रॉब्लम आ गई यहाँ पे? नॉन इटर्नल बोला ना इसने. ये तो साध्य है ना. This means eternity of sound and non-eternity of sound has been proved by two inferences. दोनों हेतु में क्या हो रहा है? दोनों हेतु में क्लैश हो रहा है. Audible is counterbalanced by produced, and both are of equal force. Both are of equal, according to Nyaya. Both are of equal force. And when such hetus are present, which can be contradicted by another inference, this is known as sat pratipaksh. Just see the two examples and see why they are able to prove the opposite points. प्रॉब्लम है, आप लोग समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. बहुत आसान है. When you read a wrong statement, don't try to understand it as a correct statement. When there is a wrong statement, it means it is wrong. We just have to find out why is it wrong. Yeah. So supposedly the first statement is made by some other philosophy. So Nyaya will make the second statement and they will say, your hetu is wrong because the opposite can also be proved. So basically they will reject the statement of opposition by counter inference. चले आगे, पक्का, श्योर, पक्का, ऑनलाइन. How come audible is counterbalanced by counterbalanced? Because they are leading to opposite conclusions. So the by audibility we are leading to the conclusion that the sound is eternal, and by produced we are leading to the conclusion that sound is non-eternal. This means that this hetu is counterbalanced by the another hetu. These are not opposites. Audibility and produced are not opposites. They are just being used differently, leading to different or opposite conclusion. सिर्फ साध्य opposite है यहाँ पे, using different hetus. Is it that difficult? Easy है? क्या तुम्हें easy लग जाए, क्या तुम्हें difficult लग जाए? Easy? Sure? Online people? Pakka? Let's move ahead. Okay. D. Badhit. Badhit means contradicted reason. So in the earlier Sat Pratipaksh, inference was being countered by another inference. Here, inference will be countered by some stronger praman. So inference is stronger or pratyaksh is stronger? अब इसका एग्जाम्पल सुन. आपके फ्रेंड ने बताया है ना, योर फ्रेंड टोल्ड यू दैट he saw your girlfriend or boyfriend texting to somebody else, and this led him to infer that she is not faithful to you or he is not faithful to you. This is what? Inference. लेकिन आपने एक दिन खुद उनको नहीं, उन्होंने खुद आपसे बोला कि चलो शादी कर लेते हैं, है ना, तो ये प्रत्यक्ष हो गया, ये मतलब उसमें फिट नहीं बैठा. थोड़ा दोबारा नेक्स्ट एग्जाम्पल. नेक्स्ट एग्जाम्पल. सो हम लोग उसको कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट करेंगे ना दूसरे प्रत्यक्ष से. हाँ, तो इन्फ्रेंस इज, सो यू सॉ सम मैसेजेस in the phone which appear to be absolutely faithful. So you inferred that the person is faithful. Then you saw them with somebody else. That was pratyaksh. So what will you believe more? Inference or pratyaksh? Pratyaksh. This means pratyaksh ko praman kya? This means if a stronger praman contradicts the inference, then the hetu is valid. Those messages were fake. समझ में आ गया? ये समझ में आ गया? पहले बता देते. अच्छा, तुम लोगों को ऐसे समझ आता है क्या? अरे मैं पहले ऐसे समझा देती. I was using authentic examples. Okay, see. This is a non-inferential contradicted middle. Here, hetu is contradicted by some other praman except inference. Here, sadhya cannot be proved, which has been disproved by another stronger source of valid knowledge. Example: fire is cold because it is a substance. Fire is cold because it is a substance. Here, substance is contradicted because coldness is directly contradicted by fire. Cold होती है क्या? हमने हाथ लगा के देखा, फायर क्या निकली? So even if the inference is trying to prove, you will not believe it. And you will not believe because perception is a stronger than inference. क्लियर? ये बहुत जल्दी समझ में आया. लास्ट, विरुद्ध. विरुद्ध is contradictory middle. Here the nature is opposite. So the nature of hetu and sadhe are opposite. Example, let's see. Sound is eternal because it is produced. Now produced means non-eternal, because if something is produced, that it will also get destroyed. है ना? Produced means, because eternity की definition क्या है? What is the definition of eternity? Something which is neither produced nor destroyed. Now hetu is saying produced and proving what? Eternal. Incompatible. By nature itself it is incompatible. अब पक्ष था, वहां से कंफ्यूज नहीं करना है. पहले क्या था? पक्ष. Here it is साध्य एंड हेतु. पढ़ लो एग्जाम्पल. Where are your notes? नहीं लिए? नोट्स तो कम मांगने वाले थे बेटा. Okay, fine. Always ask. है ना? Always ask. Your time is very precious. Never waste it. Okay? And with this, our inference finishes. And we start with शब्द उपमान करेंगे पहले, फिर शब्द प्रमाण. We start with उपमान. उपमान means knowledge through comparison. Very simple. इसमें कुछ नहीं है. एक बार, once, a man was just, randomly, you were randomly roaming in the village. One old man came to you and he talked and he said, there is an animal which is known as Gavya, which looks just like cow, but a little bigger. And you have never seen Gavya. कितनों को अभी भी गव्या नहीं पता वैसे? Yes. So Gavya is the name for wild cow. So the wild cow, the cow who lives in the forest, Nilgai. Wild cow, huh? Okay. So the wild cow settle. So you were going, आपको नहीं पता गव्या किसे कहते हैं, ठीक है? You were told by somebody that there is an animal, Gavya, which is very similar to cow and just a little bigger in size. Now, once you were going to the forest, you were randomly going and you saw an animal which was very much like cow, just a bigger in size, and you said, this is Gavya. Now, how did you know that this is Gavya? You compared what? The description with the thing seen. आपने description को से match किया, हाँ ये fit हो रहा है, and you said it is a Gavya. So this knowledge that this is Gavya, according to Nyaya school, is derived through upaman or comparison. Simple. समझ में आ गया? There is only one. Upman is very simple in the sense there is one Upman here. Another interpretation of Upman will be given by Mimamsa. And question is always, how is Nyaya school's Upman is different from Mimamsa. Even if the question is, what is the Upman according to Nyaya? You will compare it with Mimamsa. Or if it is asked about Mimamsa, you will write also Nyaya. Simple. This is the question and this is the question. Bas khatam. Not like perception and inference, very wide. This is it. Read. Upman is the knowledge of relation between a name and the object denoted by that name. It is the knowledge produced by the knowledge of similarity. Valid cognition is upamiti. The knowledge derived is upamiti. From anuman, we had anumiti. From upman, we derived the valid knowledge, that is anumiti. From upman, we derived the valid knowledge, upamiti. And the means of knowledge is upaman. Example, a man who has never seen Gavya is told by a person that there is an animal like cow which is known as Gavya. Subsequently, when you come across, or that man come across an animal in a forest. ये पता नहीं क्या लिखा है. Come across an animal in forest, then you recognize it as Gavya through Upaman. ये ठीक कर लो. कर लिया? You corrected it? Everyone? Now it is not perception because it bears the name Gavya is not perceived and only its similarity to cow is perceived. क्या ये perception क्यों नहीं है? क्या इस वक्त पे आप cow देख रहे हो? Cow देखी क्या? नहीं. Is it a knowledge by inference? Can there be a vyapti? Can there be vyapti? कोई universal law बन सकता है? नहीं बन सकता. This knowledge is not inference because there is no invariable concomitance between name and the object. That is, no vyapti can be formed. This knowledge is not through testimony. Testimony means shabd praman. कहीं वेदास में लिखा है क्या? Because Gavya is not yet perceived. Gavya is not yet. अच्छा, मतलब आपने ये यहाँ पे से ये नहीं है, इसे काट दो. The knowledge is not through testimony. सही है? कैसे? किसको? हमने तब परसीव नहीं किया था ना, तो इसको ब्रैकेट में डालो फिर. मतलब मैं नहीं चाहती आप लोग इसको कंफ्यूज करो ऊपर वाले पॉइंट से. इसे ब्रैकेट में डालो. ठीक है? श्योर? अब इसके क्रिटिसिज्म में हम क्या लिखेंगे? नंबर 1, बुद्धिस्ट रिड्यूस उपमान टू perception and testimony. According to Buddhism, there is no upman as a separate praman. Rather, only perception and testimony. Buddhism कह रहे हैं, अरे बताया तो सही ना उस आदमी ने. Somebody told you about that Gavya. Isn't it a testimony? है ना? And then you perceived that animal. So therefore it comes under perception. So Buddhism says upman is not a separate praman. Second, Sankhya and Vaisheshika reduce it to inference. This isn't it an inference? इसी को गव्या कहते हैं, है ना? हाँ, काव से जो थोड़ी बड़ी गाय होती है उसी को गव्या कहते हैं. This will come under inference. They will form a vyapti. So vyapti is again. Yes, vyapti can be there. So now Nyaya has tried to make vyapti foolproof. But can any inference be foolproof? Because no inference can be foolproof. Nyaya is trying to make it foolproof. But inference मतलब क्या होता है? Anuman. You are assuming something. And any assumption can go wrong. Example. अच्छा सुनो. देयर वाज दिस पूर्व तनु, देखो क्रिटिसिज्म बता रही हूँ, लेकिन मैं इसलिए नहीं बता रही थी अभी तक क्रिटिसिज्म क्योंकि है ना, वो आपका आपका विश्वास हिलेगा, लेकिन there was this Purvat Anuman and there was this Sheshvat Anuman. So from looking at the clouds, they said it will उड़ गए बादल. So your inference was right or wrong? नहीं हुई ना, उड़ गए. पता नहीं ना कहाँ करा, यहाँ तो नहीं करा ना, हमें नहीं पता. And okay, Sheshvat Anuman. So person said by looking at the wet roads. बारिश हुई नहीं थी, पाइप फट गया था. अब देखो, अब इसके अंदर भी बहुत सारे लूप होल्स हैं. So the people who will criticize on this manner, but Nyaya will defend. They will say, "Arey, we are establishing the conditions now. All so it should be unconditional. Unconditional means that before you come to the conclusion that the road is wet because it had rained, you must first check whether the road is not wet because of any other condition." So Nyaya will always try to prove. Others who will reject inference, like Charvak, will try to prove that inferences may be wrong. और हमें क्या करना है, दोनों लिखने हैं. When we will write Charvak, we will say Vyapti cannot be formed, and when we will write Nyaya, Vyapti can be formed on the following grounds.
Then how it is not a Vyapti? It's either like Vyapti can be something that is bigger.
That is why Buddhism, Sankhya, Vaisheshika and Jainas will not accept Upman to be a separate source of knowledge.
First we have to compare that cow compare something bigger than cow. We have to perceive it and then we can make the Vyapti. One is that person earlier than that person has perceived and then he is saying this thing.
एक सेकंड एक करके हाँ. उपमान can lead to misinterpretation. Yes Navneet.
After Upman we can make the inferences based on our perception. We cannot say that Upman is inference.
Are we reading Buddhism here? It's not Buddhism, है ना? Buddhism will say that it is inference. अच्छा, you are countering Buddhism.
It's not direct so that Upman is inference, but they have separated based on this fact only that Upman is first stage big inference. The Nyaya philosophers.
क्या? What complication?
Say that we get our knowledge to some people and then we compare with we compare our knowledge to our perception. Then we can make an inference that okay, all the things that are bigger than cows, slightly bigger than cows are Gavyas. But first we have to perceive the cow or Gavyas. First we have to compare. That is one.
Okay, so you are saying if they will always have to compare. This is what Nyaya is saying, na? Acha, you were proving the Nyaya's point. Yes, this is what Nyaya is saying. Yes, but again, so when Jain will say that it is, isn't it a recognition? So Jains will classify it under recognition. Now these are viewpoints. All of these are viewpoints. There is nothing wrong and right in philosophy. It all viewpoints, point of views. Okay. So according to Buddhism, there is no independent praman like Upman. It comes under inference. Sankhya will reduce it under, Sankhya and Vaisheshika will reduce Upman under inference. Then Jain will reduce it under recognition. They will say, वो recognize ही तो किया हमने, है ना? And Mimamsa and Vedant will give another kind of Upaman. They will again tell you the same story. We will again tell you the same story, but it will be a little tweaked. And we will read it in Mimamsa. Then we will compare Nyaya and Mimamsa. Fine? The such conditions we don't take. Upman, okay? तुम लोग आपस में क्यों इतना बात कर रहे हो आज? क्या हो गया? दिवाली की छुट्टी में इतने एक्साइट क्या? कौन सी तारीख है आज? 2 तारीख है. कब से छुट्टी है हमारी? 11 से 12 से 11 to 12 है. अरे अरे ये सिद्धार्थ ने रिवील कर दिया यहाँ पे 11 से 15. हाँ अमन, अमन के डाउट्स दिखाओ क्या है. Aman, ma'am, what is wrong with Hetu being non-exclusive? Ma'am, but if everything is inference, then does not mean everything is wrong. Aman, I did not. Hey, silence. Aman, I did not get your doubt. So, what is wrong with Hetu being non-exclusive? Non-exclusive means it is present everywhere. This means everywhere you can see Hetu. And then sadhya will be everywhere. Does it make any sense to make an inference? It doesn't make any sense to make such inference. Secondly, if everything is inference, that does not mean that everything is wrong. I did not get this question. Just repeat it, simplify and repeat it. Okay. Upman done. Let us come to verbal testimony. So verbal testimony we will do in more elaboration in Mimamsa school. And the Mimamsa school's verbal testimony and Nyaya school's verbal testimony is similar. यहाँ पे लिख लो चाहे. Somewhere you may write. या फिर मैं लिखवा दूं यहाँ पे? No? लिख लेंगे. Printed notes में आपको मिल जाएगा. ठीक है? Just write here similar to Mimamsa school. Fine. Okay. So now let us understand with this epistemology ends. Finally. Epistemology देखा हम लोगों ने कहाँ से start किया था? We started it with knowledge. We divided knowledge, then wrong knowledge, right knowledge. In right knowledge, perception, all the types and stages and everything. Then inference. What is an inference? How it can be formed? Whether it is, why is it based on Vyapti? What are the valid inferences? Invalid? What is the validity of Vyapti? And why is it dependent? Well, what is it dependent on? It is dependent on Hetu. When Hetu is valid and when Hetu is invalid. We completely analyzed and decoded the inference as a Praman. Then third, we also decoded Upaman as a Praman. What is Upaman? And we also saw that how many other schools did not accept Upaman as a separate Praman or a valid source of knowledge. Then verbal testimony. And verbal testimony, just for the whatever the chart says, we can just see. So verbal testimony means Vedic and Laukic. Vedic means that sentences, that text which is based on Vedas. Laukic means this worldly, because Vedas are considered to be otherworldly. In Laukic, there are trustworthy and non-trustworthy people. जो trustworthy नहीं है, will you believe their testimony? A person who is always doing pranks, this person comes and tells you something has happened. Will you trust that person? So this means that we should trust only trustworthy and Vedic testimony. Only this is accepted to be शब्द प्रमाण. सिर्फ इन दोनों को मिला के ही हम लोग शब्द प्रमाण कहते हैं. Now there is, on the basis of perception, there is दृष्टांत and अदृष्टांत. दृष्टांत means ये भी सही है, ये वाली भी सही है. हाँ, प्रिंटेड नोट्स में आपको मिल जाएगी वो. दृष्टांत मतलब the ones which we can see, we can perceive. So I told you, just outside this class there is a room on which there is a quotation written about Einstein. So this is what I have told you. So I feel you consider me trustworthy. So my statement will become Shabd Praman. So now on the basis of this Shabd Praman, you can go and see this. So something which can be checked, which can be perceived, comes under the start. Or other start, which cannot be seen, which cannot be directly seen. Example, like Vedas talk about karma phal. Can karmas be known directly? Can you go and see, perceive kaun se karm kare humne? Nahin. Can you also so Vedas also talk about gurus. So we consider gurus to be trustworthy. So they talk about heaven, hell, rebirth, all of these things. Can you go and check? No. But they are still Shabd Praman. They come under Adrashta. Simple. Fine? Okay.
बहुत ज्यादा लॉजिकल ये है बता दो जैसे इसको ये लोग मान रहे हैं फ्रॉम गॉड हेवन वहां फर्स्ट नहीं जाएगा ये लॉजिक से देखना.
They proved it on logical ground. He means Hetu is everything and everything is not wrong. Then Sadhu is not wrong. Maybe Hetu is nothing, I'm not wrong. Yes, Harshita. You people can also help each other. Okay, fine. Coming back here. Atma, self or soul. Now, Nyaya school's concept of Atma is very, very different. So, Charvak considered Atma to be Deha Atma Vad. This means conscious body. So, body itself is conscious, body itself is soul. Then Buddhism considered soul to be Kshanik, Skandvad, hai na? So it is just a conglomeration of 5 things and it is fleeting. It is always changing. Even soul is temporary and momentary souls. Soul is nothing but the passing sensation. Just the flow. We consider it to be the soul. Third, Jains. Soul is eternal and conscious. Conscious is the essential attribute. Essentially, the soul is consciousness. Then we read Sankhya. Soul is what? Purush. Transcendental soul is Purush. And phenomenal soul is Sopadik Purush. The reflection of it. Same is with Yoga. And now we are at Nyaya. Now, Nyaya's concept of soul is a little different. Nyaya's concept of soul says that soul is just like a substance. It is, consciousness is not the essential quality, but accidental quality. So soul, when comes in contact with body, senses, mind, the soul gets the quality of consciousness. And if you remove in liberation, so therefore all the problems of life and pains and suffering is because this soul comes in contact with body. And if the body is removed, consciousness also goes because it's the accidental quality. Consciousness also goes. The soul remains perfect with no consciousness. इसने soul को भी क्या बना दिया? conscious. So soul also becomes unconscious. This means, what kind of liberation is it? Huh? Would anybody aspire for such a liberation? Of course. Who takes the pleasure in body? What gets pleasure? Body. अरे body में तो आनंद आता है ना. And who gets pain? Body. Soul is just because of this association. Because of this association, soul is feeling pain, pleasure, and all these things. But if you remove body, pain, pleasure goes away. Both pain and pleasure goes away. And only the association is getting this consciousness. Consciousness also goes away. So soul becomes just like any other substance. And such concept of soul was criticized heavily by others. We will write or we will read, and one by one we will discuss. Okay? In Nyaya Vaisheshik gives the realistic view of soul as substance. Realist view means soul is real and independent. Independently सबके अंदर, हम सबके अंदर क्या है? Soul. Each one of us has independent soul, which is eternal and indestructible. So our souls, were they created by someone? No. Will they get destroyed? No. They are eternal and infinite. Why infinite and pervading? Because infinite here means that they exist for infinitely and they are beyond space and time. चाहो तो लिख लो यहाँ पे, infinite का मतलब confuse नहीं करना है. It is beyond space and time. Here the word that Nyaya uses vibhu. Vibhu means all pervading. Vibhu, all pervading. It is simple, partless. So can soul be divided into further parts? No, it is partless. And in essence, unconscious as well as inactive. So original nature क्या है soul की? Unconscious and inactive. Self is unconscious and becomes conscious only when it gets associated with mind, sense organs and body. There is consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is only an accidental quality of soul and not an essential quality. ये an कर लो, not an essential quality. ठीक है? All pervading. So you have to understand, like हमारी body में जहां सोल है सब जगह, हाँ मतलब एक सब में अलग अलग सोल है, लेकिन मेरी सोल मेरी बॉडी में तो सब जगह है, ऑल पर भी. ठीक है? इन कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ, according to them, it's not, we will not call it materialistic, but yes, it is not conscious. As original quality, it is not conscious. It gets consciousness only when it gets associated with body, sense organ and mind. And the moment you remove body, soul becomes unconscious. So now according to Nyaya, why did it so? I'll tell you. So according to Nyaya philosophy, consciousness will make sense only if it is able to perceive some pleasure or pain. If the pleasure and pain is going, what is the use of consciousness? It is only through body you can gain some knowledge. If the body is not there, will there be any knowledge? According to Nyaya, no, it goes away. So they have taken the concept of soul in a very different manner. According to them, soul is just like a substance, any other substance, not material substance. ये तो हमें लगता है ना, everything is just material and spiritual. Third type का, fifth state, not just fifth, 6th, 7th state जो अभी तक discover नहीं हुई है. So that according to them. So according to them, world is made up of atoms. अभी हमने वैशेषिका करा नहीं है क्योंकि मेटाफिजिक्स जो है वो हम वैशेषिका में देखेंगे न्याय, because न्याय metaphysics is very similar to वैशेषिका. Rather they accepted. लेकिन अभी के लिए just to quench your curiosity. So according to them, world is made up of objects. Now all the objects and body etc. are made up of 4 kinds of atoms. What are the 4 kinds of atoms? Batao. Earth, water, air, fire. These are 4 kinds of atoms. They come together and form different objects. So maybe this is made up of earth, more earth, fire, air. इसमें भी होगी, air भी है इसमें, हाँ? So we all are made up of, everything around us is made up of atoms of earth, water, air, and fire. Apart from this, there is the ether. Ether is Akash, space. Then there is time. Then there is space. Then there is soul. And then there is Manas. So now they have accepted soul to be a substance. All of these have been taken as substance. Space is not made up of atoms. Space is a separate substance. Time and space are accepted as separate substance. And similarly, soul is accepted as separate substance. So this soul we are describing. So when you describe the features of soul, you will say it is a substance plus eternal, unconscious, inactive, indestructible, infinite, partless, beyond space and time, all pervading, gets consciousness as an accidental quality only when it gets associated with body, senses and mind. Partless, not atomless, partless. Of course atomless भी है, but ये अपने आप में atomic है. देखो atomless कुछ नहीं होता. Atom is a term which says something which cannot be divided further, and soul cannot be divided further. So it is atomic in nature. ठीक है? Sure. And now, of course, note, Sankhya, Jain, Vedanta, Darshan has accepted soul to be pure consciousness. So ये इसके criticizers हो जाएंगे. When soul becomes conscious, it acquires 6 gunas or qualities. First is ichha. Ichha means desire. Second is dvesh. Dvesh means aversion. Ichha, desire. You start desiring something. Desire of getting more and more pleasure. Desiring things, desiring events, everything. Aversion, avoiding pain, avoiding all the kinds of things. Then prayatan. Prayatan means volition. Volition means will of doing something. The will, ये करना है. जो ये है ना, ये आपके अंदर आता है. That I will do this. So this volition comes inside. करने की इच्छा. Then dukh. Then sukh. दुख सुख साथ में कर लेना चाहिए, थोड़ा combination सही बैठता है. And ज्ञान. Gyan means knowledge. So this means the moment soul becomes conscious, it acquires 6 qualities. Dvesh also means jealousy. So dvesh signifies all things negative, and desire includes everything, including lust and all these things. So 6 qualities acquired by soul. Not violation, it's volition. Volition is the term which is used along with will. Karne ki ichha. So it's a separate, it's an English term, beta, volition. It's not violation. Violation means offending something. This is volition. VOLITION. Ichha Shakti. In simple term. हाँ, ये क्या कर रहे हो अमन? So they are admitting inference is right since it is all inclusive. ये लोग अभी तक inference पे ही अटके हुए हैं. हाँ अच्छा नहीं, ये वो थोड़े ना. How unconscious soul gets associated? We will do that, Ashutosh. So the unconscious soul get associated because of karmas. So now what Nyaya, come back. So Nyaya, according to Nyaya, these atoms and all these things are under the command of karma theory. So if the soul, so where is the soul to eternal? It's always in the cycle. Currently it is in the cycle. First कब start हुआ है तो कोई नहीं बताएगा. Nobody ever talks about the first ignorance, how it started and everything. I told you, beginningless ignorance has been accepted by all of them. So now souls are in cycle. So whatever the soul does, so according to them, with the help of body, whatever the soul does, देखो घर से तो नहीं. My baby is a little ill, so that is why I've kept my phone on, not on silent. Okay, so what I was saying, so this body, when soul gets associated with body and with the help of soul, खुद तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता. Can soul do anything? Inactive है. It will take help of body, senses, mind, all these things to do all the karmas. And once they do karma, once they do actions rather, once they do action, they will accumulate karmas, good or bad. So if they accumulate bad karmas, next time they will be born as pig, dog, ant, any such thing, and they will undergo pain and all those life cycle things, and they will die again according to the karma. And if they do good karma, beautiful body with rich parents, with everything in a good country, developed country. So idea is that this cycle keeps on going because people keep on doing good and bad karma. But until when this good and bad karma will give result, if the good and bad karma will be there, the matter which is under the influence of karma will keep on forming association with the soul. So even if the soul dies, if the person dies, supposedly X person dies, the karma is not settled. This soul will again get associated with the accumulated karma. New karma accumulated, some karma deducted, died. Again, this cycle will keep on. And this cycle will break when the good karma will increase? No. Neither good karma nor bad karma. When the settlement comes to, and the moment it comes to zero, person achieves Jivan Mukti. Why Purana? Same. Person achieves Jivan Mukti. And as the Prarabdha Karma also goes out, Videha Mukti. And in final liberation, body will go away, manas will go away, mind will go away, senses will go away. And the moment they separate, what also goes away? Consciousness. Soul becomes completely independent. Now, because there is no karma, will this soul ever come back to the bondage? No. It becomes permanently free. This is their theory of bondage and liberation. Clear? Sure? Okay. मैं लिखवा दूं क्या कुछ या ठीक है? नहीं? चलो पढ़ लेते हैं. After liberation, क्या लिखते हैं बच्चे ये लोग? After liberation, soul dissociates itself from manas and sense organ. ये पता नहीं क्या लिखे, काट दो इसे. When नहीं है ये, when है, WHEN. After liberation, when soul dissociates itself from manas and sense organ, then soul becomes devoid of consciousness as well as these immaterial gunas. Gunas are immaterial, na? Gunas are not material. Qualities are not material. Ichha is not a material quality. Can a matter have ichha? Can a matter have द्वेष? नहीं, ये पता पसंद नहीं है, मैं यहाँ नहीं रहूंगी. They cannot have ichha, dvesh, because these are, so ichha, dvesh, pain, pleasure are non-material qualities or immaterial qualities. Fine. Consciousness is accidental quality of soul, but consciousness cannot exist apart from soul, just as brilliance of flame cannot exist apart from flame. So consciousness का कोई independent existence है क्या? It is only associated with soul. And when do we get it? Only comes in contact with body. Soul is simple and atomic. Soul is simple and atomic as compound. अरे soul is simple and है ये, and atomic, comma, as compound substances are destructible. जो compound होता है, if 2-3 things come together, this becomes compound, and compounds are destructible. They can be broken. But can soul be broken? Because it is partless. Basically, you call it partless, you call it indestructible, you call it non-compoundable, all means the same. English. But soul is neither created nor destroyed, therefore eternal. Further, soul is beyond space and time, or soul is not limited by space and time. Accepting eternal soul is essential to explain law of karma. That soul undergoes transmigration, bearing fruits of merit and demerit, until it attains liberation. Nyaya Vaisheshika rejects the transcendental soul of Vedanta and accepts plurality of soul, because if there were only one soul, then everybody would be conscious of thought of everybody else. So when Nyaya Vaisheshika says there are so many souls, everybody has their own independent soul, but Vedanta will say there is only one soul. So he says, अगर एक ही soul है तो सब सबके बारे में क्यों नहीं जानते? Why don't I know about his thoughts? Because each one of us has independent souls, plurality. Therefore, there is an infinite souls, and each soul gets associated with its distinct manas and body in empirical life. So my soul comes in contact with my distinct manas, and it creates my distinct body in empirical life. And after a person dies, body goes away, manas gets dissociated, and गुनास गो अवे. हाँ, नहीं, ये तो लिबरेशन की बता रहे हो आप लोग. अगर बर्थ डेथ होती है तो उसके बाद तो रीबर्थ होता है ना. सो न्यू बॉडी, सो सोल गोज, न्यू बॉडी कम्स अप. Simply, soul is distinct from body, senses, manas, cognition. It is the real knower, active agent, and enjoyer. Self is also the locus of memory and recognition. Understand it is like a hard disk. या फिर hardware of hard disk. So you plug in, everything comes live, you separate. हाँ, अरे यार तुम लोग तो एनालॉजी भी नहीं समझते हो. Analogy is just to explain. It's not exactly the same. After liberation, soul exists as substance. Narrow state नहीं है. Exist as substance. Substance, natural state है वैसे ये. After liberation, soul exists in its natural state, that is without body, mind and senses and cognition, as eternal, unconscious substance without qualities. ये consciousness नहीं है, मतलब without है ये, without consciousness, substance without qualities. कॉन्शियसनेस नहीं होगी ना, अनकॉन्शियस होगा, तो कॉन्शियसनेस की जगह पे से अनकॉन्शियस कर दो। ये लोग इतनी गलती कैसे कर सकते हैं? After liberation, soul exists in its natural state, that is without body, mind, senses and cognition, as eternal and unconscious. Eternal and unconscious substance without qualities. Regarding knowledge of self, old Nyaya school depend on inference or testimony, while later Nyaya accepts mana pratyaksh or self-consciousness to know about soul and others still can be known by inference from their intelligent bodily action. In simple terms, old Nyaya said, how can we know about soul? Through inference and testimony. According to old Nyaya, we can know soul because if we are doing some action, who is doing it? There must be someone, something in us. This is also made up of atoms. My body is also made up of atoms. But this table is not able to move. This table is not able to desire. Then what is different between him, this and me? There must be something different. Therefore, there must be some soul within me. Old school. Or testimony. Testimony means, why is there a soul? Because Vedo mein likha hai, there is a soul. Old school proved soul on this basis. New Nyaya or Navya Nyaya talks about, they say that soul is also proved by self-consciousness, that I also know myself. Can you reject yourself? Can anybody reject themselves? Because the act of rejection will prove itself. So, manaha pratyaksh, the self-consciousness is a argument given by them. ये सब चीजें ना कभी directly नहीं आती हैं, लेकिन you can use it in your answers somewhere. ठीक है? No, क्यों होगा? वो तो एटम से बने ना? वेस्टर्न में आएगा. ओके, क्रिटिसिज्म. प्रॉब्लम बताओ क्या होगी? Soul is unconscious. Isn't it a little absurd? Hi, everybody felt it. So accepting consciousness as the accidental quality of soul makes soul in liberation as merely a substance, immaterial substance. Merely a immaterial substance, therefore making liberation undesirable. तो लिबरेशन कैसा बन गया? अनडिजायरेबल. कौन ऐसा बनना चाहेगा सोल? मतलब कौन लिबरेट होना चाहेगा? ऐसी लिबरेशन होगी तो, है ना? नेगेटिव कंसेप्शन ऑफ लिबरेशन. Second, if soul is infinite and not limited by space and time, then accepting limited soul in each individual is inconsistent. At one time they say vibhu, terms like infinite, vibhu, they are saying beyond space and time. लेकिन है तो यहीं पर ही तो है soul, within space and time. So the description and the actuality is not matching.
Realistic theory or conceptual liberation हम ये रिलेटिव बता रहे हैं, तो वो वेरीफाइबल नहीं है. अगर सोल लिबरेट कर जा रहा है तो ये वेरीफाई नहीं हो पा रहा है. नेट फिलोसफी तो रियलिस्टिक थ्योरी है, तो ये अनवेरीफाइबल है.
Realist means they accept things to be
subject and object theory.
हाँ,
सोल का लिबरेशन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो अनवेरीफाइबल होता है.
You are trying to ask the question about metaphysics and rejecting the epistemology. How do they know that's epistemology? How do they know? Knowledge was nitya and anitya. Nitya knowledge was of God. So God created Vedas. Through Vedas we know. शब्द प्रमाण है ना? हाँ 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 हाँ, everything, everything. Okay. Let us understand Nyaya is God. Yeah, you people are very slow. मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये नोट्स देने के बाद मुझे ज्यादा टाइम लग रहा है. हाँ, we will have to devise some other mechanism. समझ में तो आ ही जाएगा. Let me think how we can make it a little fast. तुम लोग सुनते कहाँ हो? चलो करते हैं, थोड़ा फास्ट करते हैं. ओके, ये ठीक है. ओके फाइन. लेजी हो गए हम विदाउट राइटिंग इन फिलॉसफी. हाँ, मुझे भी लग रहा है बहुत ज्यादा लेजी हो गए हो तुम लोग. टू मच स्पून फेड. ओके, बाय बाय. Don't give holidays for Diwali. Online people saying this. Online तो बोलेंगे ही बोलेंगे. हाँ, बाय बाय.